The dim light of the antique shop struggled against the layers of dust that coated every surface, casting long, dancing shadows. It was in this forgotten corner of the world that Eliza first saw her. Perched high on a forgotten shelf, a porcelain doll sat in silent judgment, its isolation a stark contrast to the clutter surrounding it. Eliza felt an inexplicable pull. As she drew closer, the doll's features became clear. A fine crack spiderwebbed across one cheek, and its glass eyes, vacant and lifeless, seemed to hold a deep, ancient sorrow. She named her Lily. Back in the quiet solitude of her bedroom, Eliza placed Lily in an old wooden rocking chair, a relic from her own childhood. The doll looked almost serene in its new home. But as night fell and Eliza drifted into a deep sleep, the stillness of the room was broken. The camera drifts slowly, inexorably toward the doll. The rocking chair, untouched, began to sway back and forth with a faint, rhythmic creak, a silent, ghostly metronome counting down the seconds in the oppressive darkness. The days that followed were a cascade of unnerving events that chipped away at Eliza's sense of security. While she stood in the kitchen, a cabinet door flew open with a violent bang, as if struck by an unseen hand. Later, as she lost herself in a book, a dusty music box on her mantel whirred to life, its once charming tune now a discordant, haunting melody that grated on her nerves. Each event was a small tear in the fabric of her reality, and the fear blooming on Eliza's face was a mirror to the terror taking root in her heart. One night, a chilling draft roused Eliza from a fitful sleep. Her eyes shot open, instantly drawn to the rocking chair. It was still, and it was empty. A cold dread washed over her as she scanned the shadowy corners of her room, her heart hammering against her ribs. The silence was absolute, heavy, and suffocating. Then a single, sharp creak from a floorboard directly behind her shattered the quiet. With agonizing slowness, her body stiff with fear, Eliza turned to face the source of the sound. There, framed in the doorway, stood Lily. The doll's head was tilted at an impossible angle, and a faint, cruel smile seemed to twist its painted lips. Just as Eliza's mind registered the horrifying sight, the lights in the room began to flicker erratically, spasming between light and shadow before dying completely, plunging her into absolute blackness. A small, muffled cry escaped her lips, swallowed by the suffocating dark. A single match scraped to life, its tiny flame a fragile beacon in the void, illuminating Eliza's wide, terrified eyes. In that brief, flickering light, the horror was revealed. Lily was no longer in the doorway but stood inches from her face, one tiny porcelain hand reaching out, its fingers poised to touch her skin. The match hissed and was extinguished. A final, blood-curdling scream echoed through the darkness as the screen cut to black.